Welcome to Our Life in Transition. Listener discretion is advised. This podcast deals with issues about LGBT families and trans-specific topics. We would love to hear from you and welcome your questions and comments. However, we will not tolerate any discriminatory language or hate speech. So please, just don't do it. Enjoy the show.
My mom was freaking because my dad was freaking. My aunt was freaking because my grandmother was freaking. Uh-huh. My sister was watching TV. Going, I think this was at the point that my sister was like, oh, fucking holidays. When we were kids, we met at camp.
After college, we got married.
10 years later, we finally had a baby.
That same year, I came out as trans.
This is the story of our journey.
Through marriage,
Parenting.
gender.
And all the changes that life brings.
This is Our Life in Transition. I'm sorry, what?
I don't know. I turned it to Cab Calloway for a minute. I didn't know we were recording.
That's a hell of a way to start.
I didn't know we were recording. You just randomly started pushing buttons.
For you. I caught your pre-podcast nonsense.
I was trying to warm up my voice.
Oh.
You think this magic just happens?
You warm up your voice by being Cap Calloway?
Maybe.
I should try that.
Don't criticize me.
I'm not criticizing. I have questions.
You have snacks. I didn't bring any snacks.
Well, you were too busy scatting to... Would you like a Skittle?
No. I don't want your pilfered Skittles from our child's Halloween candy.
It's all right.
Stash.
It's one of the green ones anyway. You don't want this. It should be lime, goddammit, not apple. Ugh.
They're apple?
Yeah, they changed them. Like, I don't know.
Why would they do that?
Because they're monsters. I don't know.
I don't even like Skittles, to be honest.
Okay, fine.
I'm not invested in it.
All right. Buy Halloween candy. Yes, the Halloween candy needs to go because it's almost Thanksgiving. And by the time you're listening to this, it's almost Christmas. So, hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Shannon.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to another delightful episode of
Our Life in Transition.
This has been an interesting opening. Anyway.
So, yeah, the holidays are upon us.
It sounds so threatening and ominous.
It is.
The holidays are coming. Oh, God. Yeah. As we're recording this, it is the week of Thanksgiving. And
the turkey is currently thawing.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully thawing faster than it seems to be.
Yeah. Did it still seem kind of frozen?
Yeah. Yeah, I took it out of the fridge.
Yeah, just let it sit there. It'll be fine. Why are you looking at me like that? Like, will it be fine, Shannon? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see if you don't die.
Dog, I love you. Why the hell are you poking me in the ass?
You're eating something. You can't have Skittles.
It was really disturbing. I was sitting here, all of a sudden something starts touching my butt. I realized it was the dog. I'm like, okay. Anyway. So yeah, it's, I really hate the people that are like, you have to say Merry Christmas. I'm like, no, there's a lot of holidays.
Oh my God, so many holidays.
There's so many holidays. Yes, say Happy Holidays. It encompasses everything. I know that sounded like I had more to say, but that was the end of my thought. But yeah, so Thanksgiving.
It is the holiday season. It's a whole season.
Thanksgiving's getting a lot of backlash this year.
Why?
Because, genocide. It's
yeah.
Like, hi, welcome, glad you're here. Oh,
but
God,
why
disease.
this year? But why this year particularly?
I don't know, because it's 2020 and people are sitting around thinking.
No, it's because people are like, oh, spreading disease.
Well,
what a very Thanksgiving thing to do.
I mean, yeah, it is, we really went all out this year.
You're getting the whole Thanksgiving experience.
But yeah.
Turkey and smallpox.
Are there blankets though? Do we get blankets too?
It could be arranged, but
Okay. Well. Yeah. Stay home. Don't.
Please don't spread disease,
please.
to your rest of your family, or and don't go and see your disease-ridden family and then go and spread it around your community when you get home. Yeah. Just write this one off.
I mean, we're recording this before Thanksgiving. By the time this comes out,
we hope you haven't.
And
spread disease throughout your community.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, we will know whether you fucked up or not. So
that's right. That's right. That's right.
If you did, you dumb son of a bitch, we're mad at you. Otherwise, good job. I think it's going to be the former, but whatever.
Not our listeners. Our listeners aren't going to be dumb sons of bitches.
Right.
Our listeners are responsible.
Right. Anyway, I don't know why it sounded very threatening through the microphone. Like I can do something about it. I'll just judge you. Anyway.
You're very good at that.
But, yeah. So, it's almost Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming up.
There's Hanukkah in there.
Hanukkah's in there.
Some other holidays that we aren't
Festivus.
Really. Festivus is in there.
Yes. Festivus for the rest of us.
There's probably some other holidays in there that we aren't really, tuned into, but they exist. And other people have them.
Exactly. We pretend like we celebrate Festivus. We don't. I do have a Festivus poll.
Look. The airing of grievances is every day.
Yeah.
The feats of strength usually occur when Shannon can't open a pickle jar.
Oh, damn it. Now I want pickles. Bitch. I'm sitting here with these Skittles and you're like, pickles. I'm like, oh, pickles. But yeah, it's actually a real problem. It's actually kind of sad. I keep Rachel, help.
Yeah, me with the joint disease trying to open some pickles for this weak ass bitch.
Well, you know what though? We've got the one pot holder that has the grippy side. That usually helps a lot. I've thought about investing in one of those little things you see on TV. It's here, open jar.
I used to have 1,000 of them that my grandmother had, and I threw them all away because who needs that shit? And here's the answer.
You're young and foolish.
We need that shit. No, seriously, I'm gonna get one of those jar things that are like the can openers, but they're the jar thing with the handle that you have leverage. Yeah, I want one of them for
If anybody wants to send us any Christmas presents. But we also kind of quasi celebrate Hanukkah. We don't really celebrate Hanukkah. We do light a menorah, which confuses the fuck out of people because they're like, "You guys aren't Jewish." Yes, we are. Ish. I mean, we do have Jewish ancestry.
Hidden Jewish ancestry.
Yes, which we've talked about before. We've talked about the hidden
near ancestry.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's got hidden Jewish ancestry if you go back far enough. Let's just be honest. There's lots of people with hidden Jewish ancestry.
Don't tell Billy
Bob
Bob
go back far. But
I'll be very sad.
Billy Bob's not listening.
That's true.
But no, to be very honest, as a person of a student of genealogy, I have learned that there are lots of hidden ancestries that we don't really think about.
And the thing is, it's and it was all around the same time, in the early 20th century. It's we should probably hide the fact that we're Jewish and pretend.
Yes.
Why did this person get baptized right before their wedding? Well, you see, what happened was, but yeah. So my mom was very excited to learn about that when she found out. She was like, I'm secretly Jewish. She was very happy. She was very excited about that.
Why?
I don't know.
Secretly, I've always wanted to be a Jew.
Apparently.
Okay.
I don't know. But she was very happy to learn that.
That's okay. I'm glad that she was happy.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So we light a menorah, and it's more really just a remembrance of ancestors, stuff like that.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair though, I do have an interest in Hanukkah food.
Latkes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should make some with your unemployed self.
Wow, damn it. Oh, there's that knife.
We got 9 minutes in before I said it.
Good job. So yeah, so there's lots of different traditions, and for the most part, for us growing up, it was Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and there's a lot that goes into that. Christmas is there's a lot of moving parts.
Yes. I always get to the point, like, okay, so I work for a major shipping company, and so Christmas season is kind of hell for like 6 weeks. So I always get to like the run up to like from like Thanksgiving to like, I don't know, December 10th. I'm like, Christmas, because everything is just chaos and horror, and work is hard.
I mean, you don't revel in like being gross and stinky and green, but you do put on a good Grinch for
yes.
like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's like really.
I have a new employee, and like last week they said something about Christmas, and I was like, bah.
Yeah,
and I was like, ooh, that was like a super Scrooge.
I know. I get really like. So I'm like, yeah, Christmas is coming. Like, damn, Scrooge, calm down.
But then
Go to sleep. I'm gonna find you some ghosts.
But then things start to calm down. I have plenty. But then things start to like, I get into the rhythm of it, and then I like get like excited about like doing Christmas stuff.
The child helps. The Munchkin helps.
The Munchkin
you get excited. You
helped.
get excited watching her get excited.
Oh my God, she's so excited.
Mm-hmm. So okay, I mean, we did put up our tree already. Our tree is up. We finished putting it up last night. It is still before Thanksgiving, but you know what? Time stopped in March this year, so fuck it. It doesn't make a difference. Nothing matters this year. It's 2020.
There's also still a pumpkin here, so
it's thematic for. Hey, listen, it's thematic vis-a-vis Thanksgiving, which is we still have something quasi Thanksgiving out, and it's not just Christmas Part 1. So we're doing a very good Nightmare Before Christmas here. So, but yeah.
Well, we have a fake tree. So the tree is up, but that's because we have a fake tree this year because otherwise the tree would die and be all over the place.
So here's the thing. Okay, we have a fake tree now. We've had fake trees in the past. They have not been good fake trees, and they've made me sad.
We had one good fake tree, but it was tiny.
Yes.
And then it bit the dust.
Yeah,
it was like pre-lit and everything, and then
it was little.
It like bit it. It was like 4 foot. It was like a tiny tree.
It was little. I used to put it on top of a table. Yeah, I put it top of a table. Put a like a red tablecloth over top of the table, so it looked like it was like a little more substantial. But yeah, no, it was little. But
then so that bit the dust, and so then we were like, every year we were like, we should replace it, and then like we would think about that like after Thanksgiving, and by that point you can't get a fake tree because they're like all like sold out because everybody else has planned ahead. So then we like sucked it up and went and got real trees.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I get the, like, okay, we have to have our Christmas merchandise out, like, super, super early. But they do the same thing with every holiday. It's like, they start getting ready for the next thing, and then they get rid of the stuff. Yep. And nobody can buy it right before the holiday.
Before Halloween. There was no Halloween stuff. It was all Christmas. Like the week before Halloween, I went to get stuff, and, like, there was nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
gone.
Fine, put the stuff out, but don't take the other stuff down yet, dummies. You were gonna go get the other day you saw like a nice centerpiece when you were at the grocery store, a nice little autumnal centerpiece, and you're like, I wasn't sure if I should get it or not, but then you had to go back to the store for something else, and you went back like 2-3 hours later, it was gone, and there was poinsettias out. Like, what? Yep. What the hell?
Yes. But so like growing up, did you have a fake tree or a real tree?
I never had a fake tree growing up, ever. Yeah. It was something that like mom kept like threatening to do because she was like, my mom had the same thing as you right before Christmas. She got like kind of grinchy. Then she had like a period like after like her mom passed away where she was like she would get too emotional right before Christmas, and then like she just couldn't deal with it for a couple of years. And my dad was like, okay, we got to do this. He was very much. You know the dad in A Christmas Story, just like curmudgeonly and just like being pissed off like about everything. But then like he actually really likes Christmas. It's like that. So it was.
But yeah, so no, we never had a fake tree, and my brother, I think he has a fake tree now, but like he would not. He like if anybody talked about it, like he would like lose his shit, and so I'd be like, no, I want a real tree. I realize now that I think it had more to do with my I need plants. Like I'm not like I need plants around me type person. Like,
Yeah.
If you've seen any of our social medias, you've seen my plants.
There are plants. We have lots of them.
But so yeah, no, never, always, and then always, we get sick right before Christmas, and part of it was the fucking allergies, because of the pollen off of the pine tree. But to be fair, right now it actually is helpful in that we have a fake tree because we do have plants everywhere, and we don't need some random thing crawling off of the tree.
Yeah, stuff lives in those things.
I know. I just lost my freaking aglaonema because it had spider mites. Like, I don't know where the hell they came from, but I'm not bringing anything else.
No, you didn't. You lost your alocasia.
Alocasia. My brain.
My aglaonema is just fine.
Aglaonema is fine. I'm gonna just cut that part out. I should cut that part out and not look like an asshole.
No, but like little like.
Oh, you're a plant lady. You don't even know what plants you fucking at, moron. Moving on.
Anyway. So yeah, we always had a real tree because my grandparents lived in Pennsylvania, and my grandfather always came down the first week of Christmas with a Christmas tree in the back of his pickup truck. Like 5 bags of Christmas presents from my grandparents that would get spirited up to the attic or something so that you
I'm not gonna lie, when you told me that when I don't know, when we first started going on, when we first got married, I was like, that's delightfully Hallmark kind of
yeah,
your dad, your grandfather coming down coming down from the mountains in Pennsylvania with a fresh cut Christmas tree and a bunch of presents in his pickup truck. I'm like, that's just fucking nostalgic Americana. Get out of here.
Yeah, it was
people
always,
don't do that sort of thing. Get out of here.
It was always
Nonsense.
the first week of December. We always had it.
That's
and
adorable.
yeah, it was awesome. And at some point, he got too old for that, and he didn't make the drive down anymore. But and it was I always loved real Christmas trees. Also, I am terribly allergic to pine. Migraine suffering, terribly allergic to pine.
It's pretty bad.
It's awful. But I'm but it's Christmas. So you have to deal with the pain, right?
My biggest thing was I would start getting a stuffy nose, and so by Christmas Eve, I was always in the choir in church growing up. So I'd be all right, sing. I'm okay, I can do it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we always had a real tree until, actually, I don't think we stopped having a real tree until they moved out, basically. Yeah. And then my grandmother always had a fake tree because she just couldn't be bothered with the mess. And
I love your grandmother's tree.
Yeah. And
tabletop tree.
And then my parents started getting a fake tree because they didn't want to be bothered with the mess either, and there was nobody here to impress. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So we're back to the fake tree.
Yeah.
And we fake treed right this minute, right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
A lot of it was because I'm home. I had a couple of vacation days, and I took them before all the madness started at work. So, I've been home relaxing, and Munchkin's been home with us for 4 or 5 days. Yeah. So,
it's been a crazy couple of days, I'm not gonna lie, but
so
that was nice.
We just did it while everybody was home and having fun.
And her face, though, she was so excited about that tree.
Oh my God, she's in love with the tree, and I think it's great. Last night she was putting ornaments on the tree and running around like a crazy person.
Yeah, you were unwrapping them. I was hanging them on the tree, and she was handing them to.
She was the go-between.
She was the go-between, but she was just I don't know. It almost was you gave her a couple shots of espresso and here, walk these the 5 feet over to mom, because she was just bouncing off the freaking walls, which was nice because she crashed right afterwards and went right to sleep. But she was so excited.
It was the first year that she has really been super excited
This
because
is the year where she's starting to understand a lot of things.
Because last year, like, she was doing this stuff, but she was wandering around like, I've been told to do a job, so I'm gonna do. This year, she's like, Christmas tree.
I mean, she's still easily distracted. We had the Polar Express on, and she would like stop every couple minutes and like watch the movie and be like,
the Polar Express is very exciting.
But it's like the Uncanny Valley. I have to analyze this real quick. What is going on in the storage? Oh, right, Christmas tree. And then she was like, "Yay!" and bounced back, and screaming in my face. She's very happy. But yeah, she had. It's fun to see, and I'm like Kevin McAllister with Christmas trees. I love Christmas trees. Like, if you like ever suggested not having a Christmas tree, fake or real. I mean, I can deal with a fake tree, but not having a Christmas tree, no.
See,
can't.
You keep saying that, like, I can deal with a fake Christmas. You were fine with the Christmas, like, you're not dealing with it.
No. I mean, like, I'm okay having a fake Christmas tree, but not having a Christmas tree at all is completely out of the question.
Fair.
But like, so I get like wide-eyed, like, it's a Christmas tree, but to see that on her face,
oh my God.
Just,
the two of them last night, the two of them laying underneath the Christmas tree after it was all decorated and looking up. Oh my God. Ridiculous.
My Christmas tree aesthetic. And I remember this because we were watching Disney Shorts on Disney Plus, and not a sponsor. The Chip and Dale one where they're in the Christmas tree and like that, like the shots of them inside the Christmas tree where it's all like glowy and warm and stuff. That's my Christmas tree aesthetic. And I realized watching that with her, I was like, oh yeah, that's where I got my concept of what a Christmas tree should be like. So yeah, I've always been one of those people that like I crawl under the tree and I look up, which is a lot easier when it isn't actually a real tree because you don't get so much sap and pine needles in your hair. Yeah.
And my favorite part of like decorating the tree and everything is like, because I'm not really like, Shannon's got this whole thing where like she's got a plan of where each ornament's got to go and like stuff like that.
It's not a plan. It's just a general. The stars and the birds and the angels go higher up because they're flying. Other things go down. Superman goes higher because he's flying.
Okay, but like I'm more willy-nilly about that stuff. So my job has been now to unwrap the ornaments and get them ready to be put on the tree, and then I let because it only took like 1 or 2 years of like decorating a Christmas tree with Shannon to realize that it was not going to work because
your system is completely
she would just come behind me and redo everything that I did anyway.
That's not aesthetically pleasing.
So I was just like, you know what? No, not going to do that. Not going to waste my energy doing that. So,
sorry, I thought it was just the physical labor of like getting up and down. I didn't realize that was.
No, it's the physical labor and the
like,
the joy.
It's that too. But
it's the physical labor and the joy you suck out of it.
I'm sorry,
by being a perfectionist.
I like having a aesthetically pleasing tree. My bad.
My trees are aesthetically pleasing. You just have to have it like by your logic.
Well, the biggest problem though is getting ornaments on the back of the tree, which we positioned it in a good place this year where we can reach. But yeah.
Yes. So at any rate, so I do the unwrapping, and then I get the fun part because I get to be like, oh, I remember when we got this ornament. Yeah. Oh, I remember who made this ornament. Oh, I remember when this ornament was on my grandmother's tree. And, like, so that's my favorite part of, like, Christmas tree decorating is, like, the warm fuzzies of,
And everybody has those ornaments. Everybody has those ornaments that mean something. That either, like, it's like baby's first Christmas or just one that you had that was on your parents' tree that you picked up and you brought with you when you grew up and you moved out or you didn't move out. I don't know.
I have stuff that, when my grandmother passed, we went through stuff and got special ones, and when my aunt passed, so I have like ones that are special, and then ones, this is one of the traditions that I have with gift giving and stuff is that I, make sure everybody's got a new ornament every year. It's one of the things that I do. So then I'm like, oh, I remember when we got this ornament this year, and it's fun. That's the exciting part of the tree for me.
Yeah, What?
I'm just trying to figure out what Miranda is actually doing out there.
I don't know. Protesting. But also, growing up, you weren't a candy cane person. You weren't a candy cane on the tree person. I started doing that and you were like, what the fuck? Why are you putting food on the tree? Stop it.
Well, yeah, because why are you putting food on the tree? I still don't get it.
Because you put candy canes on the tree. I don't know. That's what you do, Rachel.
It's not what you do.
Well,
you eat the candy canes.
Yes, off of the tree.
You eat the candy canes.
Off
You
of the
make,
tree.
Dangerously pointy objects with the candy canes, and then you fight.
That is the thing with candy canes. It's like, yeah.
Which you don't do this year because you don't suck on a candy cane and then fight with somebody else's candy cane that they've also sucked on. Not in a pandemic.
Here's the thing, though. I've never been one of those people that has actually been like, yes, let's fight with a pointed candy cane. Because I'm like, ew. Like, no, it's my candy cane, and don't want you to break it.
Oh, see, I used to...
I'll gesture in your general direction.
I was a violent child. I used to stab people with candy canes all the time.
Is that where the Munchkin gets it from?
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, candy canes on trees.
Candy canes on trees, yeah. Sorry, we just had to take a quick little aside because the dog, speaking of Halloween candy, got into the candy that was in a bag on the floor, which she doesn't usually do, but she did. So.
Yes, she just brought me a Hershey Kiss.
Fucking dog, Jesus Christ. She's gonna be alright.
She's fine. Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, no. I want to eat my candy canes.
Stop looking for the Hershey Kisses.
I know where they are.
Oh my God.
Jeez. God.
Anyway. So then we do other decorations, which we have not done yet. We have not gotten all of the decorations out yet.
No, we've got the tree up. That's it. Which is the big thing. Yeah. That's the big thing. Everything else is just kind of...
I mean, we do... we hang... when we get Christmas cards, we hang them on ribbons over our doorways. We don't get a lot of Christmas cards anymore. I'm not going to say that it's because of Shannon, but it's because of Shannon.
Yeah, wow.
Well... and also because, we're not parts of as many organizations as we used to be.
Yeah.
And, we've also just, thinned we used to send, I think there was one year that we sent over 100 Christmas cards, and we just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's money involved, and there's time involved, and we just don't do it, and I think everybody else feels the same way. We keep up with people on Facebook, it's not like, we used to have, like, I don't know if you ever had that, but we used to have, like, distant family members who would, like, send a Christmas letter, with everything that they did over the course of the year because we didn't, like, talk to them on the regular and stuff like that. Now with Facebook, like, you know what's going on in people's lives.
I've never really had that, though. I've always found that kind of weird. It's like yeah, so-and-so did this and that and the other thing. I was like, okay, that's great. I don't know that there's any universe where I really ever wanted to know what your kids' band activities were, but
well,
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
In case you do,
yeah. But and we have some people who like send out like custom cards. Like my one friend Matt always does something like hilarious, and does like gets cards printed up with like a couple years ago he was dressed as the uncle from
that was last year.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
and just with him, just said the shitter's full. We have weird friends, and it's delightful. But
I think didn't he do one year that was like a Die Hard theme or something like that?
Yes, he did the shot of the lighter in the air vent. Yeah.
Yeah. He is hilarious.
Which is a Christmas movie, and I will fight people on that.
It's a movie that takes place at Christmas.
Which it's a Christmas movie. I have a whole list of alternative Christmas movies, and that's one of my things that listen, it is not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Tower.
You can't see the eye roll that I just did, but it was epic.
You felt it in that silence on the air. Anyway.
So I mean, we still send cards to an extent.
Yeah.
I think this year, since we haven't seen so many people, we'll probably do some kind of picture enclosure or something like that because we haven't been able to see anybody and nobody's been able to see us. But at least a picture of the Munchkin.
Yeah. And the hanging of the cards is the thing that, like, I always did with my family. I don't really remember what you guys used to do when you were younger, although I visited when we were teenagers. The same spot?
What we do now.
Okay.
Exactly the same as we do now.
But, I mean, we always did that where, like...
No garland, just ribbon.
The garland was from me. Yeah, we would always have, like, a garland, like, over the entranceway to the living room. And then that's where we would put the cards around that. But, and the thing is, there's always other miscellaneous things that individual families have that are unique to them as far as decorations go. Like, we have, I guess it's almost, is it my thing, or is it like
what,
our
the
thing?
lantern?
The lantern.
Yeah, the lantern's your thing.
I have a lantern that I got when we were in Colonial Williamsburg that, like, I put at the bottom of our stairs, and I just, like, put a candle out there and let it go, and it's just kind of like I don't know. I have a Victorian aesthetic in my brain that doesn't necessarily translate to everybody else, but it makes me feel good.
That's fine.
And we have your Christmas hamster.
Shut up.
No, I will not shut about I love your Christmas hamster. You always feel embarrassed by it, but I love the Christmas hamster. It's adorable.
Okay, so when I was, like, I don't know, in 3rd grade or something, we made, like, these, like, pinch pots and stuff in school in art class, and I am terrible at art. I am terrible at that kind of art. I'm really good at, like, needlework and stuff like that.
You're good at different kinds of art.
I'm terrible at physical molding of shit and making it look like a real thing. So my little sculpture that I made, which was supposed to be a bunny rabbit for Easter, turned into a hamster-looking monstrosity that I packed away and never thought about again. And then we got a bunch of Christmas stuff out and figurines and stuff like that, and Shannon found it and decided that it should have place of honor, and so now it's considered the Christmas hamster, and it's out every year at Christmas time.
Well, it was the Christmas hamster before.
It was not the Christmas hamster
it wasn't?
before. No, it was packed away, hidden, with a bunch of other figurines that only came out once a year, so that we never had to look at it.
It just happened to wind up with the Christmas stuff for some reason? Oh, see, and at first I was like, oh, what is this?
Well, because like, the Christmas stuff was, like, you know, there was just a bunch of, like, miscellaneous, like, angels and shit like that we didn't have a place for the rest of the year.
Uh-huh.
So they just all kind of got shoved in a box. And then eventually we found them and made them the Christmas figurines and such.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But I think we should post a picture of the Christmas hamster so that people understand. Listen, it's adorable. I love it.
Whatever.
I don't know. I'm just imagining little you like I'm making a bunny, and it's that looks like a hamster.
It was in 3rd grade.
But it's cute. It's adorable. Anyway,
and I was like, it's a bunny, and Shannon's like, it looks like a hamster, and I'm like, no, it's a bunny, and is it though?
Make the Thor face like, yeah. But no, it's adorable. Also, we collect Santas.
Yes.
That's the thing that it started when I was a kid. I don't know if you did it when you were a kid.
No.
I used to get, like, one year my dad, like, brought me, like, a bunch of little, like, not ceramic, but, like, little, like, resin Santas that were, like, different versions from, like, around the world. Like,
they're ceramic.
well, no.
Oh.
Those are the second wave of Santas. I had little ones that my dog Flash, when I was a kid, ate most of. Speaking of dogs eating shit they shouldn't. Which, that fucking dog. That's what I was just saying. Like, I wasn't worried about her with the candy because she doesn't get anything. I said if it was Flash, like, no, nothing on the floor. Like, Flash also was, we really had to keep our eye on him because he would eat ornaments off the tree. He was just, I love that dog. He's fucking stupid though. But yeah, when he was a puppy, he ate a bunch of them, and I was really upset. And then later on, like, Dad came and gave me some ceramic ones. But like, I've got like one that's like from Mexico, and it's Santa on a burro. Suzanne
And
cookie. And
there's one that's like China. And
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
I've had a couple that have broken over the years, but we collect different Santa figures,
Yes.
and we very much like the fuzzy Father Christmas with the long coat kind of Santas, not the Coca-Cola Santa so much.
Yeah, the good old-fashioned, like, Norwegian-ish looking Santas.
Yeah.
The Scandinavian Santas.
But everybody's got different traditions within their family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got different decorations, you got different food. You make snickerdoodles. Rachel makes really good snickerdoodles. Who started the snickerdoodles?
Well, it was my great-grandmother's recipe. And when we got married, one of the things that my sister had everyone do at my bridal shower was enclose a recipe. And one of the recipes that my great aunt and second cousins found, I mean, she gave me a treasure trove of recipes, but one of them was the snickerdoodle recipe, and I made it once, and everybody was like, these are amazing, because for some reason, like, the baking gods, like, looked with favor upon me, and they came out right the first time, and so now I'm like the snickerdoodle queen.
Yeah, it's like, it legitimately, like...
Other people have tried, they have failed.
I do okay. I think I do pretty well.
That's because you follow my instructions.
Exactly. But...
when you make them, you are supervised.
I make them on my own, but...
and they turn out like crap. When she's supervised...
I overcook them.
You overcook them.
I overcook them. But I've learned.
Yeah.
But...
mine are better.
I can scratch cook a lot of other things. You're the snickerdoodle master, though. And speaking of, like, organizations we've been in, that was, like, a thing where people were like, can Rachel make snickerdoodles? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, when I was in the lodge, people, like, and they were like, oh, we're going to have, like, it's like the holidays, everybody, like, do, like, a potluck or something. Like, can you bring some of Rachel's snickerdoodles? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Make the snickerdoodles. It's like crack.
I've never made crack.
You looked a little sketchy right there, Rachel. Is there crack in the snickerdoodles?
No.
Okay.
No.
But
just sugar. Just sugar.
No, just well, yes. No. Good old American baking crack. Different thing altogether. But
what other interesting cookies do we make?
Interesting cookies. I don't know.
My parents make a lot of, like, when we were growing up, like, we made a lot of interesting cookies.
Yes.
Like, we had different, like, traditions. Like, we made the Swedish heirlooms, and which you can't have.
Yeah. And rum balls.
And rum balls, which you can have, but you can't have them.
No.
But which you can't go anywhere. You can't drive after having. My nana used to make these real thin sugar cookies that were just like
glass.
Yeah, they just like, oh, they
snap.
Yeah. And then Michigan Rocks, which is like a kitchen sink cookie. It's like just throw everything. It's like the fruitcake of cookies. You just throw everything in.
See, growing up, a lot of like what our cookie making experience was like doing like sugar cookies that you would like decorate, which like when like we started talking about Christmas cookies, you were like, who does that? I'm like, no, like you like get like little cookie cutters and you make like a gingerbread. And you're like, no, thank you.
But we used to make cookies together, like my grandmother with the butterballs.
Yes, butterball. Oh my god.
And
but
you would stick your thumb in and put the cherry in the center of it.
I love butterballs.
And then you would eat half of the cherries, and you'd be like, I don't know how we ended up with more cookies than cherries.
It's a mystery.
It's not a thing. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Christmas cookies.
They're
really
very
is.
good.
They're so good. But yeah, we you like them, but like your first go-to isn't necessarily oatmeal raisin cookies. Though you like them.
I love oatmeal raisin cookies, and I hate the work of oatmeal raisin cookies. So if I have ever brought you or made you an oatmeal raisin cookie, You can be damn sure that that was a break and bake cookie.
Or I made them.
You can be damn sure that that was a break and bake cookie.
No, see, I like making oatmeal raisin cookies, and that was like growing up. It was like we made chocolate chips, we made oatmeal raisins, and then you decorated sugar cookies, which you didn't actually make yourself. You rolled them out and cut them, and then put frosting on them and sprinkles, which you don't like.
No, that's too much sugar.
But this year is going to be a good year for making cookies with the Munchkin.
Yeah, if we ever have time.
Yeah, well.
The problem is time.
Yeah, but we took down the gate. We had a gate up blocking the kitchen off. She's gotten to the point where we're like, okay, you understand the kitchen's hot, stay out of the kitchen. But, you know.
And she does. She stays on the carpet. She watches what we're doing. Mm-hmm. She yells at us that we're in the kitchen and we shouldn't be because the kitchen is hot.
The kitchen's hot. Like, I'm making dinner. It's hot. So I mean, the messaging has gotten through, which is good. But
yeah, we should be able to like mix up some chocolate chips with her and stuff like that. You know. Thanks again for listening to the show.
If you like what you hear so far, subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, be sure to share with your friends and family so they can enjoy as well.
This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support.
But also pies.
Shannon is the pie queen. I don't make pies. I like pie. I don't make pies. If I do make pie, you can also bet that the crust was not homemade. Like, I'm like a pre-make and I'm like a buy pre-made and assemble at home kind of thing.
The only problem I have with that is
Shannon is a scratch cooker.
Oh, I make it from
a scratch baker.
I make it from, baking isn't something that I necessarily scratch cook, but I make from scratch. Other stuff I can scratch. Yeah, but
no. Buy yourself some Pillsbury shells.
Yeah, well, Pillsbury shells are alright. And growing up, that's what I had most of the time.
Get a Sara Lee frozen.
I mean, if you give it to me,
or pay somebody to make you a pie.
That's
go
true.
to a bakery and pick it up.
But
too much work.
See, here's the thing. Okay, now what are the pies that you had growing up, or what are your favorite pies?
We didn't usually do pie for. No, we did fancy desserts. We did trifle, syllabubs. Sometimes, if we weren't feeling fancy, we, ended up with a, Sara Lee or something like we didn't do like crazy desserts because we were so busy doing crazy dinners.
That's fair.
That dessert was like somebody else do the dessert. Although my trifle, you can't drive after that.
Yeah. See, your family made a lot of desserts that like would fuck you up.
Well, the syllabub wouldn't fuck you up. The syllabub just has a little shot of alcohol in the bottom.
You say a little shot. What's
Well, no, I mean it's not like even like a full glass of wine.
The first time I had one of the syllabubs that your parents made, I was like, "Whoa, what the hell is this? It's a lot." I was not prepared. Nobody warned me. Well, I don't drink that much to begin with, so it was a lot.
Listen, I stopped volunteering to make desserts with my family when one day my dad was baking and he called me over and asked me for help. And I, being young and stupid, wanted to help. And then he set me to work hand whisking whipped cream until my arm almost fell off. And then I complained that my arm was about to fall off, and he said, "Keep whisking or you're going to fuck it up. We'll have to start over again."
But why did he have your hand whisking? You have a mixer? That's just child abuse.
No, the mixer was otherwise engaged.
Oh, I see. Oh.
So I was the mixer.
That's so mean.
And I will never forgive him for it. Like, every year at Christmas it comes up, the story of the child labor
1 year
violations that occurred in the making of Christmas meal 1 year.
See, but and I love making whipped cream, but I will not hand mix that shit. That is stupid. Listen, it literally takes like at if you're like going on a slow whisk a minute to make.
I think probably what happened was I was annoying the shit out of him, and he's like, "Here,
ow."
And
Okay.
and he was like, "Here, have a job so that you stop annoying the shit out of me. And also, this will make you never want to show your face while I'm cooking again."
I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's work smarter, not harder. Like, yeah, like, I need to keep this kid out of my goddamn kitchen. Here, why don't you do this? Oh, you don't like that, and stay out. I mean, I get it, but see, but going back to pies though, here's the thing about the pies. I'm biracial, and so my mom's family, their food aesthetic is very Italian. My dad's from Alabama, so it's a lot of Southern cooking, a lot of soul food, a lot of, we had greens, things like that, which is another thing. We'll get into that in a second. But like, especially when we went to my dad's family, there was a lot of flexing about the pies. And my mom and my grandmother had this ongoing thing about like, whose sweet potato pie is better? And it was just like, I mean, they're all great. Just fucking hell, don't put me in the middle of this. But it was just like this ongoing thing, like, whose pie is better? Whose pie is better? I'm like, oh, I'm trying my mouth full.
This is how the Trojan War started, people.
Yeah, it's Jesus Christ, like they're both equally good. And it'd be like one of those things, like, because with pie, you literally, it's like a chart. It's like, there's more out of that one than mine. What happened? Why don't people like me? And it was like, it'd be like, people would hold a grudge for years. It was bad.
Wow.
And also, you had to be careful when you go into families because, you would lose pie plates. It's pie plates and Tupperware, and it's bad. It's a bad scene. But my mom's big thing though was a green bean casserole. Mm-hmm. My mom, oh my God.
Which, can I just tell you?
Mm-hmm.
I never ate until I was with you. We never had green bean casserole.
Oh, it's so good.
We never ever had green bean casserole.
You make a good green bean casserole. You pick that up and you do a good job with that.
It's Campbell's recipe.
You zhuzh it up a little bit, but not like
I zhuzh just a little. I don't go crazy.
But you also didn't have greens until you came around my family, and
oh my God,
you had
well,
you had Pops greens.
Okay, until I came around your family, my knowledge of like black people was like one person.
Fair. There's that.
Like one person.
Oh, damn. All right, but yeah, but like that was a fun Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving that we were at my parents', and it was really the first time you really were around Pop, who, okay, my Pop had a really thick Southern accent to the point that if you weren't familiar with it, you could very much have no clue what the hell he was saying. I
needed a translator.
She did.
I did. I spent a lot of the time just going, and looking at somebody else to say, what the hell was just said? But sweetest man, though. Sweetest man.
Love him to death. But he made really good greens. Which, here's the thing. You go on like, oh, yeah, Pop's greens. But Pop's greens, and I'm sure he would, he probably wouldn't have admitted this, but everybody knows. Grandmom's greens?
Oh, I'm sure.
Worlds beyond that. So, like, what you were like, oh my God, this is so good. You've had other people's greens, you're like, garbage. You had Pop's greens, you're like, fantastic. His, we were all like, these are decent. Good job, Pop. Grandmom's greens, oh my fucking God. They were so good. And here's the thing, I don't like greens. I don't like greens generally. You have to make them right. Most people have no clue what the hell they're doing.
Which is why I'll never make them.
My grandmother, oh my God, she made such good greens. They were so good.
Your dad made greens once.
Yes.
And they were good.
My dad does an okay job. He does good. They are not his mother's greens. The woman took that recipe to the grave. Nobody can replicate it. But I live with my memories. And yeah, I mean, go ahead, use your ghost powers and try to channel that, please, if you can.
Call me ghost powers.
But if you can get a hold of her and get that recipe, please. She will not give it to you. But
no, are you kidding me?
I mean, speaking of the Tupperware, she went to her grave also saying that my mom's Tupperware was hers. And you know what? I'm not going to argue with her. But
finders keepers.
But
She found it on her table. Therefore.
Like, oh yeah, I'll clean this and I'll get it back to you. Like, well, what? Clean? No, this is mine.
I cleaned it. It's in my drain board.
You left it here, dummy. But yeah, oh my God, so good. But yeah, but everybody has their own thing. Like, you know, your family did like a lot of ham and
No.
Was it ham? What was that?
Okay, so ham was just a regular Saturday night meal.
Fair.
You know, that my grandmother, my dear sainted grandmother, would like try to help, but she was old. You know.
Oh.
So like she would help make dinner on a summer when my mom was working, so it would be canned ham.
Oh, canned ham. Oh, that's
canned ham and baked mac and cheese. Why she would do baked mac and cheese in the middle of summer when she had no air conditioning in her house, I don't know, but that's what we had. Canned ham and baked mac and cheese. And her mac and cheese was great until she forgot how to make it.
Yeah. What did she forget? Was it milk?
No.
The cheese?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when we knew that Grandma was slipping. But
Okay.
anyway.
Oh, poor thing.
But so that was just a regular meal. But like for obviously Thanksgiving was like always turkey and two kinds of stuffing because we stuffed the bird. We had dry stuffing and then we had the stuffing from the bird.
Oh yeah, stuffing wars. I was talking about the pies, but stuffing wars. Yeah, that's always a thing too.
And then usually some kind of pearl onion casserole.
I don't like pearl onions.
Huh?
I don't like pearl onions.
You couldn't have had it anyway. It had peanuts on top.
Oh, good.
And green beans.
Mashed potatoes?
Usually sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. Ugh.
I
can't deal with sweet potatoes. Sweet potato pie, yes. Regular sweet potatoes, no. I had a bad experience.
Yeah, and your cranberry sauce and all that requisite stuff.
It's funny how many different things people have debates about, like holiday food wise. Like, okay, cranberries. Do you do fresh cranberries with the chunks and the real berries in it, or do you do cranberries out of a can?
Oh no, we sliced a can.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what you do.
Sliced a can.
You take it, you open up the can, you slide it out whole. Maybe you slice it.
We sliced it because we put it on Grandma's very good cut glass dishes, but it was still
I've had
a can.
I've had fresh made and no thanks. You keep that shit.
And we opened a jar of gravy and put it in a gravy boat.
See, yeah, my mom was very particular about the gravy. But also mashed potatoes though. I don't know where I got my mashed potato aesthetic though. I'll eat smooth mashed potatoes. I like chunky mashed potatoes. I like ones that have some like chunks of potato in it. Which my mom was very much like, no, I'm not gonna make you instant mashed potatoes. Screw this. This is bullshit. I guess I got it from going to my grandmother's house because she made homemade mashed potatoes. But like, my mom was like not about that life. So what she would do was she would take like one like little potato
and cut it up in there,
microwave it, and then cut it up and put it in and go, here you go, kid, homemade mashed potatoes. I was like, oh, thank you so much. This was so good. I was dumb, but it worked.
Trixie.
Listen, it was a texture thing. That's what I wanted. But
what about for Christmas? Did you guys do turkey for Thanksgiving and Christmas? Or did you do like a ham? Like, what did you do?
It depends. It depended. We'll see. Okay. Well, when I was really little, we didn't eat ham because my dad was a Muslim when I was very young, and we didn't eat ham. And my mom, in solidarity, even though she was born and bred Episcopalian, didn't eat ham. To the point that like I didn't know what it was. And one time we had ham at my Nana and Pop's, and I freaked out. I'm like, I don't want to eat pink meat because I thought it wasn't cooked. And my Nana got very mad at my mom. It's like, this kid doesn't know what ham is. What are you doing? She's like, we don't eat it. But so I didn't really have. Once my dad was like, okay, I'm gonna convert right before my parents got married, right after my parents got married. Then he was like, but you know what? Bacon. So we went back to eating ham. So we would have ham sometimes. But a lot of it was turkey.
Didn't you get tired of the turkey though?
No, not necessarily. But like, here's the thing: there'd be turkeys, but also there'd be different things. Sometimes there'd be like roasts depending on whose house we were going to. With my mom's family, there was a lot of like lasagnas and baked ziti. And yeah, so yeah. Lots of different things.
Now, what about
meatballs? Homemade meatballs. Oh god. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, actually, that's a different story.
It's getting towards lunch now. I'm hungry.
So for us, for Christmas, we from the time I can remember, we had lamb.
Yeah.
Well,
I never had lamb till I had it with your family.
Well, okay, so there's some weird story. Look, my dad used to be a butcher, but there's some weird story about some Greek people that owned one of the big businesses on the island for a while, and they would always order lamb for Christmas and Easter and all these meals.
As you do.
And so they would order it from my dad. My dad would get it, and, you have lamb. And so then my dad started getting, since he was getting for them, he got for us. Mm-hmm. So we always had lamb. Now we've kind of gotten away from that because it's more expensive, and also there's fewer of us.
Yeah.
As people have died and or moved, and, our family meals of 8 or 10 are now 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So in recent years, we've been doing, like a rib roast, which is equally good. But, so we've always done, beef or lamb for Christmas. And then we would have, wheat pilaf as our side dish for Christmas. And some vegetable that my aunt didn't screw up. My poor aunt was not able to cook. So, like, legit, the only thing that anybody ever entrusted to her was, please open this can of some kind of vegetable, put it on the stove, heat it up, and do not burn it.
Didn't she burn water?
She put water on to boil and forgot it was there and, like, burned a pot. Yeah. No,
No,
I
love your aunt.
It's happened. There was also one year that we entrusted the vegetables to her. We went and sat down and we were all ready. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Oh shit, I forgot about the vegetables," and had never even looked at them.
There's always something that somebody forgets.
But
to be perfectly honest.
But it became laughable, and it was a comic thing, and it was kind of a thing that we expected. But yeah, and then so usually for Christmas is when we would have like a fancy dessert, like the trifle.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows what a trifle is, but it's basically like this layer of thing. You put like lady fingers on the bottom, not real lady fingers, the little biscuit like thingies. It's not the Addams Family, although
you don't dismember the rich. Although, yeah.
No, so you put like a layer of lady fingers and booze, and then you put like some kind of fruit jam, usually like raspberry or something like that, and custard. And then
trifle is fucking I love trifle.
or cherries or cherry pie filling, something like that. And then you do another layer of ladyfingers, and then you put booze on that. And I was in charge one year of assembling the trifle, except I can't read. And so I tripled the amount of booze that went in this thing. It was fucking flammable. But that was the best year. Everybody was like blitzed. And it was freaking hilarious. And my dad was like, I wondered why like you came back with like not anything left in the bottle of brandy. He used Kirschwasser. And and like I came back with like he had given me this bottle of brandy. And like I came back and there was like this little like tiny itty bitty portion left, and he's like, "What the hell happened? You're supposed to use like a third of a cup." And I'm like, "Oh, I think I used 3 cups." But that, I mean, you could have lit that sucker on fire if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But that was a good year for trifle.
Yeah.
And then, well, you also, which I had never had in my entire life. Your mom introduced me to the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh my god.
For New Year's.
Yes. So, yeah. I was actually, before you said that, I was thinking about my mom's mac and cheese. Her baked mac and cheese. Oh my god.
Oh, your mom's mac and cheese is really good.
You know what? I think
I will never replicate it.
We
I'll
can
never even
make
try.
It's akin to like grandma's greens. It's like you can try, you can't. But black eyed peas. Oh my god, you gotta have black eyed peas. You gotta have black eyed peas. You eat black eyed peas. They're good luck for the new year. And yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, we never did that.
You had no idea. But and you know, people are like, oh, black eyed peas, it tastes like dirt. Like, yeah, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you cook them wrong.
That is true. If you don't know what you're doing,
yes.
They do. But
if you
that's
have
why
just heated up black eyed peas, yes, they taste gross.
Which is why you put like a shit ton of bacon fat in there.
Yes.
You know.
Bacon fat, ham, something like that. My mom used bacon.
Yeah, bacon, and
I like to add some ham.
Yeah.
But oh my god. Yeah, black eyed peas are like the best, and they heat up really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The flavors marinate a little bit.
Yeah. So did you guys do presents on Christmas Eve? Did you guys do presents on Christmas Day?
No, screw that shit. No, you have presents on Christmas Day. Like, you don't calm down. You don't jump the gun. But I mean,
what did you do on Christmas Eve? Did you do anything?
Well, it varied over time. For a long stretch of years, what we would do, because my aunt didn't live too far away. Although, we lived closer to church, so it was weird. We would like, go further away to go to my aunt's and then come back to church. But we would, when I was very little, I had to take a nap because we were going to midnight mass. So I had to take a nap, and I fought until I passed out. And then, like, 7 o'clock, Mom's like, all right, get up, get dressed. Wake back up now. But then we used to go to my aunt's house, and we would have dinner, but it wasn't like dinner. It was a lot of like, maybe there was like some ziti there, maybe something like that. But like for the most part, it was like hors d'oeuvres and, like sweet and spicy like meatballs, things like that. But my aunt worked in catering for a long time, so I don't know how much of it was coming from like where she worked or she just knew what she was doing, but like it was always good. And even when we had Christmas at her house, like that was there plus the the meal. But we would do that and kind of like hang out for a little while. Usually watch at least part of A Christmas Story with my cousins because in the early mid-90s they started playing that for an entire day, and they still do. And if they ever stop, I'm gonna be really upset. But yeah, so we would do that, and then we would go to church. And one random tradition that just happened because of we were tired, and my brother and I would be in the backseat of the car, and we'd be tired and start like nodding off, and then like we like developed this tradition of like leaning up against each other, like Forrest and Bubba. Just like, you lean up against me, I'll lean right back up against you. And we'll have to sleep with our heads in the and just like fall asleep, like leaning our heads against each other in the backseat of the car. It was adorable. When we got older, like I'm like, oh, this actually kind of hurts my neck, but but yeah, it was adorable. And but then we would go to midnight mass, and I love midnight mass. Midnight mass is one of those things where it's like the stress of Christmas drops off.
Right.
Some point in the
everything
middle of
is
that service.
done.
Yeah. It's like you've done everything you need to do.
And you just have time to just be quiet.
And be present.
Be present, yeah. I
have, usually whichever church we went to would do Silent Night at the end of the service. Light candles. It'd be dark in there, which is candlelight. Very, go back to Scandinavian aesthetics, very, very hygge. And just be warm and quiet and soft and like and it would just like hit me. I cry a lot at midnight mass, and this was before the HRT, so like it would get to me, but all your eyes hit me, but yeah, so it's and then we would go home, and when I was little, once I got a TV in my room, which was I forget if that was a birthday present or a Christmas present, then I'd fall asleep with A Christmas Story on. And
wake up with The Christmas Story on.
No. I'd put the sleep timer on, but it was just kind of like especially like once I get like hit like 14, my brother moved out, and it was just like I gotta go to sleep. Christmas is coming, and like it was just kind of like I'd fall asleep, and like the end of that movie when like the kids were asleep and like the parents were sitting watching the snowfall, it was just like, oh, it's Christmas, and then I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up and there'd be presents.
We always had when I was little, we always had the Christmas pageant was at our 4:00 service on Christmas Eve. I was always an angel.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, so we would have like the 4:00 Christmas pageant. It was like
so guilty just now.
It was like the one service a year that we would drag my dad to. Also, the one service a year that when my aunt was here, she would grudgingly go to because she was not an organized religion person, which is fine. But so we would all do that, and then afterwards we would drive around and look at Christmas lights.
Yeah,
because that was like back like when the island was still inhabited by people in the winter. There were actually like locals here.
It's funny. That's the thing that like my mom did when she was a kid, and she always wanted to do is to drive around and look at the lights. Yeah.
Well, we would do it because everybody was cooking the next day, right? So we didn't like cook on Christmas Eve,
right?
So we got Chinese food. So we had to drive up to get it,
right?
And we would order it, and we would order it like, 3:00 in the afternoon. Be like, we'll be there to pick it up at 6 or whatever, and then we would have Chinese food on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day was like here in the morning when we were really little, here with my dad with the video camera, and we would make a video for my grandparents in Pennsylvania so they could see us opening the trash bags full of crap that we
I love those videos. Your parents tried to show me those videos when we were dating and tried to scare me off. It didn't work.
It should have.
It
should have told you what we were going to be dealing with.
It prepared me for the nutcase that is our child.
Yeah.
But just to give you some context, I don't know how old you were in this one Christmas video. She's 4 years old. See, here's the thing. Your family does opening Christmas presents in a very disorganized way.
Yes.
They open all their presents like all at once. Kind of like, you see in the Christmas stories, everybody's tearing and everything, and it's just complete and utter madness. My family did it very organized. You start it from the youngest person, and then you work your way up, which we try to do now. Now that the Munchkin is a little bit older, she I'm sure will be more about opening her presents. The first few years, she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and we'll just wander off and like, we want to open our presents now. Can you hurry up, kid? But so we would start like, I was the youngest, and then my brother would go, and then my mom, and then my dad. You guys open them all at once. So there's this one video of you trying to like point out the thing you've got that I guess you got from your grandparents, and like, look what I got, and your parents are not paying attention, and they're talking to your sister, and you just lost it.
Nobody's looking at me.
It was hilarious. And here's the thing, though. I apologize. It was so funny. I told my parents about it because I came and spent like a couple days down here, and your parents showed me that. And then when I went home, I told my parents, and they never let that shit go.
Nope.
They never let that shit go.
Never did.
So whenever like you were like moody or something like that, they're like, oh, nobody looking at you. And you're like, you fucking bitch, I don't believe you told them that. But again, like the Christmas hamster, I found it endearing. I'm like, oh, you have a good point, kid. I mean, nobody was looking at you, so I mean,
we always had matching flannel nightgowns.
That's horrific. Too. I am sorry.
Yeah. Usually Heidi and Mom and I had matching flannel, or at least Heidi and I had matching flannel nightgowns.
Yeah. No.
But so after we opened our presents up here, then we would traipse downstairs to my grandmother's house, and then we would do Christmas down there.
Yeah.
And then we would all go to our separate places. Dad would come back up. Well, when my grandmother was younger, when we were little, we would cook downstairs, most of this stuff. And sometimes mom and dad would cook like side dishes and stuff up here and carry it downstairs. But as we got older and grandma couldn't do this stuff, we would cook the whole meal up here, upstairs, and then bring it down the stairs.
Right.
And depending on whether my sister and I had to help
Yeah.
or not, with the cooking, we would either stay downstairs out of the way or come back upstairs to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, that was, and then we'd have dinner at a ridiculously early time, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and have dinner.
Interesting though, like it's
and sit around the table till 7 or 8 talking.
Yeah. See, what happened with you had an interesting experience in that your grandmother literally lived next door.
Yeah.
All of my extended family was at least a few miles away. So it was always things like, okay, we're gonna open all of our presents
And pack everybody up in
and
the
pack
car.
everybody up in the car. The one thing that my brother and I used to do, we had this tradition, we would call our cousins, like, I don't know, like 10 o'clock, 10:30. I'm like, what did you guys get? And like compare notes. Even if we were going to be seeing them in like a couple hours, my mom was like, why are you calling them? You're going to see them in like 3-4 hours. Come get dressed. But yeah, you have to get dressed and then pack everybody up in the car and then drive. Which I always hated, like when it didn't snow. And it was just like, this is this gray drive to wherever the hell we were going. but like, my,
Bet your parents enjoyed it more than
yes,
when it was
I'm sure
snowing.
they did. But I mean, I don't want snow on the road. Just snow on the ground. Like it snowed like a few days ago, and it still looks nice. Off. But see, here's the thing, though. Not so much with my grandma, but Nana and Pop, and then also, Auntie, my great aunt, lived further away, and so like they lived where we'd have to go through a bunch of farmland, which was nice. When it would snow, and you'd be like, it's Christmas and it's farmland and it's all snowy and picturesque.
Except when you're driving.
Looks like a fucking Bob Ross painting. It's great. Yeah, well, I wasn't driving. I didn't care.
There were no mountains in New Jersey. You lie.
Okay, well, one of his more flat, plain. Okay, I got nothing. It looked like one of his less elevated paintings, but and also when you go through part of the pines too, when there's snow on it, it's nice. But yeah, but then we would have to like go somewhere else. But then there'd also be like that level of like, I want to play with my toys now.
Yeah,
but now we gotta go somewhere. And so it'd be like, there'd be one thing I could bring, one or two things I could bring.
Okay,
and
that's
so it'd be
the
like,
way to do it.
It's like, okay, pick something. You can bring this. When I got older, though, it wasn't so much of a thing because I was also like, stupid. You're getting more presents, so get your ass ready, get dressed. We're going to go get more presents. We're doing Christmas Part 2, which I mean that continued as we got older because we got married, and then it's like, okay, well, who are we going to? Are we going to your parents? Are we going to my parents? We would alternate holidays all the time.
Right.
And then we also had like, okay, well, we got to get with our siblings as well. So it's like,
because our siblings weren't always at the holiday things.
So I mean, Christmas just kept on going. Which I mean, honestly, Christmas lasts until Epiphany on January 6th.
And usually that's when we've wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Like,
so it might not be on Christmas Day, but
like there's some years like that. My brother-in-law does shift work, and so he usually picks up, Christmas and stuff so that people who have kids don't have to work on Christmas and stuff.
My brother used to do that a lot.
And so he's not always here for Christmas. Yeah. So sometimes we'll do like my sister's house, like for New Year's or something like that. And then and the same thing with your brother's families. Sometimes they didn't all get to one place, so we go visit different.
And it's funny, like we're experiencing that now as adults, making those decisions of where we're going to go. When I was a kid, I experienced that as a kid, going, okay, well, this year we're going to Nana and Pop's. This year we're going to Grandma's. Yeah. This year we're going to Aunt Linda's. This year we're going to Aunt. It would depend.
And for me, we never experienced that because I never experienced that because my grandma was alone next door. Right. So we always went next door to my grandma. Mm-hmm. We didn't go up to Pennsylvania to the rest of the family because there was already 30 people up there. Like, it wasn't like my nan and pop were going to be lonely on Christmas.
Right.
But my grandma was literally my grandma and my aunt, and that's all. So we always did holidays with them. So it was never really, and we always just, you know, we would do like, because we would always go see my grandparents during teacher convention break. Mm-hmm. So we would always do, it would always end up being like we would do our birthdays, like my mom's birthday and my birthday. Yeah. And kind of like pre-Thanksgiving. Yeah. With them. Uh-huh. And then the actual holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, you know, the actual sit down, have a meal holidays we would do with grandma because she was by herself.
So it was almost like doing Christmas too, but with Thanksgiving and beforehand.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And like you really couldn't tell Thanksgiving from any other day at my Nana's house because, to be honest, like my Nana, like,
just cooked for everybody all the time.
All she did was cook for everybody all the time. So like there was never like that we didn't have like a real like meal or anything like that.
Your Nana, your Nana made the best French toast.
When she was younger, I mean, now, you know.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, when she was younger, when we were kids, like there was always every night, like, you talk about mashed potatoes. That woman didn't understand instant potatoes. No, like literally, like I remember her sitting at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Peeling potatoes, watching TV in the living room, peeling potatoes, or snapping green beans. You know, just sitting in the living room, you know, so that she could be with everybody and we would all be, you know, talking. But she was, you know, peeling potatoes. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, with her, I mean, every day was Thanksgiving.
That's fair. I mean, that's true. I've experienced a random weekend meal there. I'm like, what the hell? This is nuts. Yeah. But you know, okay. We were talking about snow a second ago.
Fucking hate snow.
Did you hate snow as a kid? Although it didn't snow here as much.
It didn't snow here as much. But, like, one of my first memories of snow was being, like, Randy, all, like, freaking, like...
I can't put my arms down.
Yeah, I can't put my arms down in a snowsuit and falling down the last 3 stairs of our apartment and getting a fat lip. Aww. And that was the beginning and the end of my snow experience that day.
You hold grudges for life.
Like, I hold injury grudges for life.
Fucking snow. Give me a fat lip when I was, 3, 4?
Yeah. I mean, there are a few pictures of us, like, making snowmen and stuff out here. And it was okay. But the thing also was that, like, the only playmate I had in the neighborhood was my sister. And she had other playmates.
That's fair.
So, like, she had, like, her friends would come over and, like, go out and play, and then they'd like have to drag me along, and then at some point I became like the very obvious, you know, third wheel, the very obvious tag along, and there would be a point at which a snowball fight got real violent, and then I would go home. And that would be the end of that. You know, they would get tired of dragging me around in the sled and like leave me somewhere.
Well, see, that was part of my thing too, is that like, I grew up in an apartment complex, so there were a lot of kids about. Also, there was always at least one kid who would knock down your snowman. Son of a bitch, fucking Brian. I'll never see you again. But
I hope Brian's not listening. Maybe Brian has reformed.
Maybe, you know. Well, it's fine. I'm still hurt. But
I hold grudges.
Yeah. But so there'd be like snowball fights. There was also something of a little bit of a hill, so sometimes we could get some sledding in, but you know, it wasn't anything to worry about.
We didn't actually sled. Like, I sat in a sled and somebody had to pull my ass.
Oh, I know. I've seen the pictures. It was. You guys were trying. You were pantomiming, but it was kind of a sad. It's hard to look at. I'm sorry, but
the island is flat.
But you know, so there was a little bit of a hill in the backyard. I lucked out in that the apartment complex I had a little bit of a wooded area and a big backyard. So there were lots of areas to play with. It also did have like valleys behind some of the apartment buildings. So like water would collect there and then freeze. So we kind of had like frozen ponds, which was not the safest thing. And at some point, you would always wind up with a boot full of water. But I love snow, and I'm one of those people like I can smell snow coming.
Yeah.
Like I can smell the ozone, and it makes me happy. And I've had a couple experiences where it's like nobody expected it to snow, and then it's like magically there's snow on Christmas. Like when I was a kid, that happened one time. It wasn't supposed to snow. We'd broken a song singing White Christmas when we were at Aunt Beth's house, and then like we're like, oh shit, it's snowing. And then that happened one of the last Christmases before my mom passed away. It was not supposed to snow, and for a while we were still going to church over by my parents, so it was like a long drive from here to there. I had to work on Christmas Eve. You went ahead of me, and I was driving through the Pine Barrens, and it was just this really nice soft snow that came down. It was fucking magical. So I have this thing about snow. I'm like,
it's your Scandinavian aesthetic.
I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm like, I got like a Doctor Who thing going on. I'm like the Doctor. It's just like, whenever I see snow, my face lights up. It's the same. Like, snow. But, you know, I don't like, when it's crazy, now that I drive, I understand. I don't like driving in snow. One Thanksgiving.
Snow, bah, humbug.
One Thanksgiving, my aunt and my mom and I drove up to their family in the Adirondacks and got caught in a blizzard. I thought it was great. I was like, look at all this snow. This is wonderful. They were like, we're going to die. We're going to drive off of a mountain and nobody will ever find us. But I feel so bad in hindsight. But, you know, but
I'm not a snow person. You know what? And here's the other thing. There's always stress associated with snow because, like, okay. So as my grandmother got older, she got more of a worrier.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there was, like, a year where it had snowed. And it was now ice because that's what happens here. We get snow that turns into ice. We never get nice snow. That's the other reason I hate snow. But so we had cooked everything upstairs for this giant Christmas dinner. And it was going to be fantastic. And we were going to carry all the stuff downstairs. And then magically, like halfway through everything being ready, my grandmother goes, we have to cancel Christmas dinner. And my dad, like, about lost it because he had, like, 1,000 pounds of food half cooked. And my grandmother had this cockamamie idea that we were just going to cancel Christmas dinner.
Why? Because you were going to die coming down the stairs?
Yes.
I mean, okay. Those stairs, to be fair,
no, it was
are a death trap.
It was icy.
Yeah.
But we're like, there's 4 of us to carry stuff down the stairs, and we can make like multiple trips. Like it's gonna be fun. No, my dad freaked. And like it was like there was like this epic Christmas meltdown. My grandmother was crying that we were all gonna die. My dad was crying that we were all gonna die because he was gonna kill somebody because of the food. And I just remember going, okay, everybody stop. Christmas is not canceled. You keep cooking. You calm down.
Oh, God, you had to be the mediator?
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's the worst. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, because my dad was freaking. My mom was freaking because my dad was freaking. My aunt was freaking because my grandmother was freaking. Uh-huh. My sister was watching TV. Going, I think this was at the point that my sister was like, oh, fucking holidays. she was like a teenager and she was just at that point.
Just generally disgusted with everything anyway.
Just like,
yeah.
Can I just leave me alone? Right? And I was the one going, I will save Christmas. And I did.
Good job.
And it was fine.
Good job,
but so every time there's like snow or ice or anything like that on Christmas, I'm like, I cringe because I'm like, we have to cancel everything. Please don't kill anybody. Like, like there's this whole like thing.
Okay. Well, I know how your dad is in the kitchen. There's always that thing too of like the person who is like basically the chef in the kitchen, and it's like, okay, you got somebody helping you. They're a sous chef. They follow your directions. Anybody else, get the fuck out. Like, do not come in my kitchen.
And
stay out of here.
And you know how small our kitchen is.
Yes.
So it's just like, if you're not helping, you need to leave.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of times, because we had a very small apartment, mm-hmm. like a lot of the times it was like, and by leave, I mean go away.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times we did, like, especially when I was little, you know, and I couldn't really help. Like, it was like, why don't you just go downstairs and help downstairs? And, like, they would ship me down to grandma's, and I would, like, stay there and play, and we would, you know, listen to music and, you know, you know, and chat and whatever. But, yeah, there was a lot of just, you're not helping, go away.
See, here's the thing. I was one of those people that, like, I always wanted to be in the kitchen, which, again, it's a very gendered space, too. So for me, it was like, oh, why don't you go over there and play with, like, your boy cousins? I'm like, you know, they're playing video games. I don't really care. Can I help? Can I help make dinner? Like, yeah, you should have known. But yeah, like, it.
But, and this is the thing that, like, we've talked about this before, about how, like, our families operate. And so, like, the first holiday that I spent with your family, it was like everybody was gathered in the kitchen.
Yeah, gathered in the kitchen,
and, like,
just
chatting and, you know, holidaying in the kitchen. And I'm like,
I gotta stay away.
You're all gonna get killed. Like,
no, kitchen's a no-go. The kitchen's hot. Stay out.
Right.
Like, yeah.
No, the kitchen is a sacred space, and if you're not helping, you are hindering.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The thing is, like, there's a point at which, okay, now you got to get out. Happened with my family where, like, but like,
that was usually when everything was actually being pulled out of the oven and whatever, and like,
so and it depended too, because like there were always several meals with my family. Like, there would be like the dinner part, like wherever we were going. Usually there would also be like a breakfast part where like my dad would make pancakes. That's part of the reason I like making pancakes, because we used to make pancakes. You're like, why are you making a whole fucking meal? Like, because we're gonna have a meal later. I'm like, you need to eat more than once today.
No. I mean, a lot of the times we ended up with, like, if we did something, it was like, you know, cinnamon rolls or like something like that. Like, it wasn't like crazy, like, involved, because everything was good. Like, because then you had to clean the kitchen to do the rest of the kitchening.
You know what? Here's the thing. My dad and I have a very contentious relationship. It is what it is.
Yes.
But always have, even before I was like, yeah, I'm a girl.
I'm pretty sure that everybody's dads have everybody's got a contentious relationship with their dad at some level.
Sometimes with their moms, it depends. But we had a thing, like, he would make pancakes, and like he and I would always be the first ones up. And it would always be like, which one is up first? Either he's up first or I'm up first. When I got old enough to drink coffee, like, we would have coffee, he would make pancakes. He also had a thing about, like, for some reason, watching John Wayne movies. Like, as like racist and homophobic and terrible as John Wayne actually was. Like, my dad loved John Wayne movies. He's a terrible person. He had decent movies. But, like, and that was like TBS, TNT used to, like, marathon John Wayne movies on Christmas. And my dad would be like, there for it. Like, okay, opening presents is done. We're watching John Wayne. And my mom would be like, ugh. I'm like, I'm gonna go
to the kitchen.
I'm gonna go make my green bean casserole. This is fucking stupid. But yeah, and we watch John Wayne movies. But like, yeah, so like, that's why I'm always like, I gotta make pancakes on Christmas, and I've been continually developing my Christmas pancake recipe. It's an ever evolving thing. It's okay. I make you regular pancakes. I put a lot of stuff in my Christmas pancakes. There's like raisins and maybe cranberries. And
orange juice and
like,
shit.
A little bit of citrus and like different like spices and things like that. It's like it's very like, it's a very like holiday like explosion.
And we didn't do a lot of like that. We did like a little something, because like we would have a little something, and then we would go downstairs, and then my grandmother would have like, because by then it would be like mid-morning, almost lunchtime, and like she would have like a plate of cheese and crackers and like stuff like that, and we would be like munching, and that was kind of lunch. We ended up like munching all this stuff. Yeah. And then we would inevitably have some kind of hors d'oeuvre or something before dinner, and then there would be dinner. Yeah. Like, and so like we were like constantly eating throughout the day. So we didn't have like a meal.
My family was pepperoni bread. You go to ShopRite, you get a thing of pepperoni bread.
So that's an Italian thing.
It is. It's yummy. But I think the one thing though, like, Dad would make pancakes, because usually, because we live in an apartment, Christmas wasn't at our house; it was somewhere else. So it's like
right.
we had our breakfast together.
Right.
And
then it was like
Mom wasn't
it
having
was
pancakes
like
either.
Usually quiet breakfast kind of together time. And then all hell would break loose.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's
but
nice.
Then we go somewhere else's house, and that's crazy. But also because it was somebody else's house, we didn't have to worry about dishes. That's the worst part, is the dishes.
Always.
I hate dishes.
Always.
I hate dishes. But then, like, when we got older,
like,
my parents moved into our house when I was in college, and then it was like, then it was fucking dishes, because I was at their house all the time.
But then, like, the dishes, like, my grandmother, for whatever reason, it was always the same 6 or 8 people at the Christmas table. Gotta get out that china.
Yeah.
No dishwasher on Christmas.
You know what the funny thing is? We had a dishwasher growing up, a functioning, perfectly good dishwasher in the apartment. It was storage. I'm like, they used to drive me crazy. It was like, here, wash the dishes. I'm like, there's a dishwasher right there. Why am I doing this by hand? But my mom was the same way. We didn't have china, but she had her cobalt blue.
Her good dishes.
Yeah.
Her good dishes.
The only time you fucking took those things out was on Christmas. It's the only time they came out, and God forbid you broke one of them.
Oh my God.
But
no, my grandmother, we had the crystal wine glasses, and we had the silverware. My aunt came down a week before any holiday, and that was always her freaking job to polish the silver. I think she actually hated it ridiculously, but it was okay because she also got some time away from my grandmother, because she'd be like, why don't you go sit in there, and I'm just going to sit and polish the silver, which was,
well, your grandmother was older as well. So, I mean, your grandmother, she was born 1913?
13, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, legitimately, like, she was born the year after the Titanic.
It was definitely an older generation type of thing. But yes,
which is nice.
When we were entertaining, and there was crystal and cut glass and china and silverware, and it was always hand washed.
But you know what?
But that was also fun too.
It's nice, and I got to experience it when we first got together. It was nice.
Yeah. Oh no, it was
nice,
and it was also nice.
It's nice when you don't have to worry about it.
It was also nice. Even doing the dishes, though, sometimes was nice because it was like whoever was appointed to do the dishes, like usually 2 people were, and then those people were, they had their time, and they, had their time to talk or whatever. And then everybody else, like, was just sitting around the table, and, there was a lot of time to chat. And I think that's the thing that I miss most about Christmas now that we've grown up and lost people and things like that, is like the quiet after all of the hubbub is done, sitting around with your cup of coffee,
the quiet time when Randy's asleep on the pile of wrapping paper time. Like,
well, not even that. Not even that.
But the same vibe.
But we would sit around at the table for hours.
Yeah.
And, the pie would be done. We'd have the second pot of coffee on, and...
You go pick up the turkey.
and we would just be sitting, talking and remembering and telling stories. And sometimes they were stories we heard before, and sometimes they were something new. Like... Yeah, it was just...
It's always fun to, like, I know this story, let's see how it changes.
But no, I mean, we had a lot of good times like that.
Yeah.
Just talking about family and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's,
And that's kind of, with the older people gone.
That's how, that's when you learn, when you learn your family history.
I miss that, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you learn your family history, is those family get-togethers. People get a couple of drinks in them and they start talking.
And my aunt and my dad together were just the stories that they told, because I never knew my grandfather.
Yeah.
But I did because of all the stories and stuff like that. And inevitably, they would get to a point where my grandmother would just go, you two, and end up like walking. But I mean, but it was just to be able to sit and listen to that.
Yeah.
It's lost.
Yeah. I've always been good for that. I'm the quiet person that sits there and listens. People forget I'm in the room.
Right.
That's how I know so much. But yeah, like I love that time.
Yeah, so things have definitely changed as far as family and stuff goes.
Yeah.
But you know,
the thing now though, and I'm looking forward to. I mean, this year is difficult and sucks because of this fucking virus, and it's going to be tough for a lot of people, and I get it.
Yeah, it is.
And I get people who are like, I want to go see my family. I totally understand.
We're not going to end up doing the extended Christmas,
Nope.
with everybody,
No.
because it's just not safe yet.
But I'm looking forward to developing. And not even necessarily that they develop. You don't do it consciously. Just seeing what traditions develop that the Munchkin's
for us and the Munchkin,
gonna have. And it's something. Everybody's got different traditions, and whether it is Christmas or Hanukkah or Festivus or Kwanzaa, you know what? Can I just say, if you actually celebrate Kwanzaa, please let us know. I have a black family. I don't know anybody who celebrates Kwanzaa. But it's a thing you can do. And, if you're like, hey, let's celebrate the solstice. If you're like, yay, it's Yule, you burn a big log. I'm interested.
If I had a place,
yes,
I would definitely have a Yule log.
My aesthetic and what I would love in life more than anything else is if I had the money to do it. If I was stupid rich, would be I'd have a giant fireplace and have a Yule log and have like an old school like Christmas festival and just like Yule. It lasts for 2 weeks. Everybody is eating
total like Saturnalia.
Yeah, and just shit faced for 2 weeks, celebrating Christmas and New Year's and Michaelmas or whatever. Maybe the fucking Green Knight will show up and like challenge somebody to a duel. I don't fucking know, but that's my aesthetic. It's just like this pine and holly and food and drink and good times for like a couple of weeks. It's winter. Let's wait for the sun to come back. I know I'm very witchy. That's my thing. But
I always thought your aesthetic was like a candy house in the middle of the woods, eating Hansel and Gretel.
Nah.
Too much maintenance?
That's too much maintenance. I mean, just God forbid it rains. Like your fucking sticky house. No, that's all right.
Ew, sticky.
It's sticky. It's fucking smelly.
Otherwise, I'd totally be down with it,
You
but
get
not
flies.
a sticky house.
No, I don't want to chase down children and like come here. Nah, that's all right.
You know what I'm here for? I have never made a gingerbread house. I will never make a gingerbread house.
I love gingerbread houses though. I love looking at gingerbread houses.
I don't care about gingerbread. But this new trend that I'm seeing is like houses made of like crackers and pepperoni and shit.
Oh yeah.
Give me one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want one to appear and for me to devour it. Like.
Mm-hmm.
But then part of me is like, what is the point of putting in all the work to make it come together when you're just going to devour it?
Instagram pictures. It's like the never meal in Hook. It's like, okay, you close your eyes, you squeeze, and you imagine this amazing meal, and it's like, why did the cheese have a face carved in it? There's no reason for it. It's just cheese, but it looks fucking cool.
It's a deep cut.
I like Peter Pan. Sorry, I like Hook. But like, it's like that. It's like there's a lot of traditions that make no sense. They have no practical purpose whatsoever. But we do them because it's what we've always done, and we will do it until the day we die. And that's just.
And then we'll pass it on to our children,
yes,
so they'll do it.
And they'll have to do it too, and that's how we get holidays. But, why are we doing this? We don't know. But continue, as you were.
Anyway, so these are our holiday traditions.
Yeah.
Such as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna
make some cider. I need to make some cider.
God.
No, just me. But I thought you should lose the dog again.
I was just checking on her.
You're still with us, right?
She is. She's just
okay.
quietly chilling.
Good. But yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on this little romp through holiday
This has been very long.
traditions.
This is one of the longest episodes we've ever recorded. It was fun though. I like this one.
Yeah,
This has
this
been
is
fun.
very nice.
I'm gonna
Very
have
nice
to do a
fun.
lot of editing, but this can be our holiday special.
This is our holiday
It's
special.
our holiday special. Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't be like Star Wars. We'll put it out there. We'll leave it. We won't hide it away for 30 years in shame. Rachel's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I have no idea, but I don't most of the time,
Oh,
so it's fine.
Okay. I'm going to make you watch it. Like, you'll get like a minute and be like, this is horrific. Why is this ever a thing?
We're not going to do that. That's not going to be a thing.
Well,
you can save that for the Christmas media episode.
Okay. Yes, that's fine. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. I am Rachel.
And I am Shannon.
And this has been another delightful episode of
Our Life in Transition.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for listening to Our Life in Transition.
This show is hosted by Rachel and Shannon McDill.
Our producer and editor is Shannon McDill.
Our theme music is Seize the Day by Jens Kiilstofte.
Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/olitpod. That's /OLITPOD.
Your support makes this show possible. Thank you.